Here we are, back on a new day with Ace Attorney Spirit of Justice. And today we might finish it. We might actually finish. I think I'm gonna try to finish this game today. Like if it's 2 hours, I gotta try to do 2 hours today. But let's find out. I'm thinking it's probably not longer than an hour left, but we'll see. Queen Amara, I believe you're still hiding something. But if you want to keep on playing this game of hide and seek, then let's start with that last statement you made. If I must. Alright, here we go. Yeah. Let's do some bracelet looking. At 2 p.m. during the rite of channeling. Okay, so she shines that thing. I slipped into the tomb. So it's probably on the Slew the Minister where she's gonna be lying. And slew the minister. So her thing shines, but that's not unnatural. That's quite normal. Okay, let's look at her face. Blinking normally. Talking normally. It's a regular pace for blinking. Wow, her eyes are pretty crazy. So regular blink. Regular blink. And slew the minister. Regular blink. Okay, nothing there. I mean, there's a ton of places I could look. So we could look at her arms. Slipped into the tomb. Is it that her finger was fidgeting at the start? Is that what it was? Hang on. Let's listen again. I think her finger fidgets at the start. Yeah, this. So it's not at 2 p.m.? Okay. That was a tiny fidget. Queen Amara. You're not very comfortable talking about the 2 o'clock rite of channeling, are you? I can tell because a finger on your left hand twitched almost imperceptibly when you did. Uh-oh. And that pose you make. Is there something about your chest that makes you nervous? That's an odd thing to say to someone. Whatever do you mean? The murder occurred at 2 p.m., and I can't stop staring at her chest. And I'm pretty positive Amara was in the tomb at the time. So then why is she so self-conscious about her chest when she talks about the rite? The rite of channeling. Oh, the rite of channeling. Didn't Albie snap a picture of it? Queen Amara. I have here a picture of the rite of channeling. It was secretly taken by a certain individual. Oh, she's not going to be happy about a picture being taken of her. Such insolence! I would have the perpetrator's name at once. Sorry, no can do. You see, I just happened to find it on the ground, so... Do you take me for a fool? How about we discuss the photo's origin a little later, because right now... there's something much more pressing at hand. I believe this photo merits further examination. Is there something wrong with her chest? I just wish there was more to see in it than darkness and more darkness. Her chest seems fine. We might be able to make out a few more details with some image adjustments. Let's ask Emma if she can help. Okay. Enhance. Zoom and enhance. Bailiff, please summon Detective Sky to the Hall of Justice. Yeah, I don't know what you want me to do. Here you are. I was able to obtain a much clearer image just by raising the brightness. Ooh, baby. Huh? What's that right there? An injury? No, wait. I think it's a burn scar. She was scarred when she tried to burn the house down. Wait a second. Your Eminence. You don't have a burn scar like that on your chest. I mean, this is a funny thing. Stop looking at my chest. So Amara was the one doing the channeling, which means Garan was the one who did the murder. Ah! What's going on here? If the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan, then who is it? Well, it's gotta be our girl Amara. Queen Amara, the person in this photo isn't Queen Garan. It's you posing as her, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you can do the right. The two of you look quite similar, but that's no surprise considering you're sisters. Even the shape and position of your facial tattoos are almost exactly the same. Hold on. Can we see her eyes in this photo? No, she's closed her eyes, so you can't see the defining feature, which is the eyes. That's crazy. And you're both capable of channeling spirits. Therefore, it would have been easy for you to impersonate Queen Gardan. I was wondering how this photo would come into it. I was like, you can't see anything in that photo. Wow. Queen Amara, you have a burn scar on your chest, don't you? Take off your clothes. Please remove your round mandala so we can see what's behind it for ourselves. That's a burn scar. Look! It's the exact same burn scar as the one in the photo. Ah, I don't understand. I knew it. Also, isn't it funny how we cracked the case with a cleavage window? That's great. It has a reason for existing in this universe, at least. So the person in this photo really is. Yes, it's Queen Amara.
This is absurd. Are you suggesting they switch places?
Amara's confession earlier was also false. Mother, what is the meaning of this? Don't you see? This changes everything. We know for a fact that this photo was taken at 2 p.m., the exact time the murder took place.
But that would mean Queen Amara couldn't possibly have committed this crime.
Exactly. She now has an ironclad alibi. So, Minister Inga's killer couldn't have been Queen Amara.
I am afraid I no longer follow defense. Was it not Queen Amara who channeled the minister and the accused to stage the crime?
Yes, that fact has not changed. We have evidence placing her at the scene of the crime. And Dirk could only have been there in the tomb if she were channeling him. Which means, while Queen Amara did use spirit channeling to stage the crime, she didn't kill Minister Inga. His real killer is someone else.
Polkunka!
What's going on here? Was her mercifulness covering for someone?
If Queen Amara is not the killer, then who is it?
Isn't it obvious? The person who no longer has an alibi. Why was this rite held in the first place if Queen Gardan wasn't going to perform it? Who is behind the two sisters switching places, and for what reason? This is cool, I like this. The answers to these questions, along with the establishment of Queen Amara's alibi. Obliterate a certain someone else's alibi. Our girl, Queen Gardan.
Why, is this some kind of joke?
No, your majesty. I could never joke about something so grave. The only one who seemed to have a perfect alibi at the time of the murder was Her Eminence, Gardan Sigatar Kurain. Queen Amara, didn't your sister Queen Gardan ask you to pose as her and perform the rite of channeling? And didn't she also have you drive Dirk's spirit from Miss Faye's body and then stage the crime to make it look like he was the minister's killer? And at 2 p.m. while you were performing the rite of channeling as Queen Gadon. Didn't she kill Minister Inga while disguised as Dirk? Well, your mercifulness? It's no use trying to hide it any longer. You need to tell us the truth now. Mother? Justice Minister Inga's true killer is... What? What? Was she just... Mother? No! Did they just assassinate her? Oh my god. I really did it! Your Eminence, my life is yours! Isn't he one of Gadon's royal guards? Oh my god. Queen Amara! Bailiff, arrest that guardsman! Mother! Gadon couldn't have... Could she?
Someone call for an ambulance, quickly, now!
Oh my gosh. To be continued? Man. May 19. High Court of Kurain, accused lobby. We're lucky the ambulance made it in time. But we've been forced into a recess for now while things get straightened out. I can't believe what just happened. Tell me about it. Do you think Gadon put that guard up to it? If she did, she's gonna regret it. No one gets away with something like that on my watch.
Poor Queen Amara.
Your benevolence? Any news on her condition?
She is undergoing surgery at the hospital as we speak. They are giving her a 50-50 chance of survival, though.
That Garan. Justice will be served.
Why? Why did this happen? Oh, just as we were finally reunited. Oh, Queen Amara.
What was that about being reunited?
Huh? Oh, it's nothing.
Right.
How are you, Hornhead? Darkside Marty was your father in Orbit blood, after all.
Thank you for your concern, your benevolence. But I'm fine. Right now we still have a trial to see through. So that's what I'm gonna stay focused on.
Hornhead, you are sturdier than your stature lets on.
Just don't overdo it, okay, Apollo? I think Dats didn't know, did he?
Dirk, that was a real shocker, alright. Can't believe the dragon is dead.
That's...
Say, AJ, I was wondering, when Dirk disappeared after I freed him, that's because Amara turned back into herself, right?
Yeah, I suppose so. But I don't know if it was because Dirk's spirit willed it, or if it was a part of Gadon or Amara's plan.
Man, I dream of a revolution. Now what are we gonna do? Is this it?
Don't give up yet. There's a very good chance that... don't give up yet. There's a very good chance that Gadon is the real culprit in all this. And if we can prove her guilt in court...
Hey, you're right. That could just be the push we need. The dream lives on.
Yes, it does.
You know what that means, AJ? The fate of the revolution rests squarely on your shoulders.
All in a day's work. Who am I kidding? That's a ton of pressure. But this is what Dirk gave his life for, so I have to do this for him.
The Honorable Rebel Darkside Marty. I would have loved to have spoken with him while he yet lived.
Really? Aww.
Why not? I mean, he seemed like quite an interesting man.
Did she bump her head or something earlier?
The trial is about to resume.
The defense is to report to the courtroom at once. Already? After what just happened? The first thing Garan will do is respond to that last accusation, so you'd better stay on your toes, Apollo. I will, Mr. Wright. Ready or not, Garan, here comes justice! May 19, High Court of Kudain.
Now then, let us resume today's proceedings.
Huh? Where's Naita? I must offer my apologies. I never imagined a royal guardsman would do such a thing. What? He wasn't acting under your orders?
How dare you cast such suspicion upon your eminence, Her Eminence?
It is quite alright, your majesty. Suspicion is only natural under such circumstances. But rest assured that he acted alone, for I knew nothing of his plans. I don't believe that for a second. Now then, your majesty, regarding the murder of my husband, Minister Inga, I would like to offer a new possibility.
A new possibility, you say?
Indeed, for during the break, the real killer confessed to me.
What?
Bailiff, call the witness to the stand. The real killer confessed? What's she got up her sleeve this time? I have a really bad feeling about this. Sadmati? Oh no. Oh no. He's the one who confessed?
Prosecutor Satmati, you're the real killer?
I questioned him during the recess, as I felt that Amara had been covering for someone. So it was that he finally confessed his crime to me. So it was that he finally confessed his crime to me. That's what she was trying to say. Naita, you didn't really do it, did you? Her Eminence speaks the truth. It was I who killed Justice Minister Inga. Naita!
Peace! Prosecutor Sadmati, are you absolutely certain about this? A confession of this nature is grave indeed.
Yes, I am certain. For I killed him by my own hand. At last, the real killer has been revealed. How are we supposed to respond to this? Naita, retract your confession now! Mr. Justice, it is not yet time for your cross-examination. Who cares about that? Admit it! It was Queen Garan who put you up to this. She forced you into giving a confession, didn't she? You were out of line, Mr. Justice. Learn some self-restraint. But... Or do you have something that might prove that I did not commit this murder? That's... What do you think you're doing, you idiot? Surely, the truth can set us free. Looks like Garan got to him somehow. I definitely didn't see this coming. Naita, why are you doing this? Why would you sacrifice even your life to do Garan's bidding?
Whatever the case may be. Prosecutor Sadmati, your testimony, please.
Okay. Witness testimony. Naita's confession. I could not remain silent while Her Eminence fell under suspicion for this crime. It was I who murdered Justice Minister Inga. He had to die for the future of Kurain. I considered it divine judgment cast upon a fiend who sought to assassinate our monarch. My mother was simply covering for me. I am ashamed I let her go so far for my sake. You do understand what you're doing, right, Naita? You're sentencing yourself to death if you're found guilty. If that is the court's verdict, then so be it. I must obey the law above all else. The law, Naita, or the Queen? Enough! This blather has nothing to do with the witness's testimony.
Please address any issues you may have during the cross-examination, defense.
Oh, I will. I'm gonna blow his problematic testimony to smithereens. Naita's confession. I could not remain silent while Her Eminence fell under suspicion for this crime. You kept quiet all this time even though you were the real killer? Yes, and I accept that what I have done can never be forgiven. But I never imagined suspicion would fall upon the Queen herself. Prosecutor Saad Mahdi has placed the future of our kingdom above his own life. He is taking responsibility for his crime and showing his loyalty to Queen and country. Without a monarch on the throne, Kurain would be plunged into chaos. I could never wish that upon my homeland. That is why I had to let the truth be known. What a bunch of baloney. I'm gonna ask you again, Naita. Did you really kill Minister Inga? Yes. No matter how many times you ask, Mr. Justice, the truth is immutable. It was I who murdered Justice Minister Inga. It's not too late. You can still retract your confession before the verdict is rendered. There is no retracting the truth. One either tells it or does not tell it. It is that simple. Why do you always have to be so stubborn, Naita? I hate how you never listen to reason once you get like this. I think we'll need some evidence before we can get him to retract his confession. Either that, or we'll have to force a retraction out of him by appealing to what's in his heart. It's not going to be easy either way.
Prosecutor Saad Mahdi, what was the motive for your crime?
I had reason enough to kill Minister Inga. He had to die for the future of Kurain. What do you mean by that? Minister Inga was planning to assassinate Her Eminence in a coup d'etat. I had to nip this evil in the bud, even if it cost me the purity of my soul. So you're saying the death of another is a reasonable price to pay to protect the Queen? Long have we remained independent under the authority of our spirit medium queens. We command the people's awe and respect with the power to commune with the dead. Without such a monarch, our kingdom would lose its standing in the world. But if spirit channeling's so important, why did you have Queen Amara perform the rite? I'm afraid my elder sister is quite capricious. She would fulfill her duty only when the desire to struck, as sporadic as that was. Only when the desire to struck. It was therefore something she did on a whim. There was no meaning behind it. A meaningless whim? It's hard to press a statement like that. Now, if I may return to my testimony. I considered it divine judgment cast upon a fiend who sought to assassinate our monarch. Oops. My mother was simply covering for me. I'm ashamed I let her go so far for my ex. Alright. Press. Divine judgment. Yes, I rendered judgment upon the minister on behalf of the Holy Mother. Are you saying the Holy Mother guided you? No, Her Holiness would never condone killing in her name, regardless of circumstances. As such, I believe my defiled soul will be damned to hell. But I do not regret what I have done. I willingly sacrifice my soul to protect this kingdom's future. Snap out of it already, Naita. So his motive comes from a place of faith, huh? Why does that sound completely credible when it's coming from him? Well, Amara expressed a similar motive. As for her mercifulness, she is truly deserving of her title. My mother was simply covering for me. I am ashamed I let her get so far for my sake. So you killed Minister Inga, and Queen Amara staged the crime. Is that how it went? Precisely. My mother is as clever as she is kind. She sought to conceal my crime by taking all of the guilt upon herself. Yet another lie. I need to poke a hole in this testimony, but how? Naita, could it be you? Didn't know Naina's real identity? You didn't realize that Naina was actually Queen Amara, your own mother. That is not as strange as you might think. Much time has passed since we last met, after all. Right. 23 years ago, was it? When Dirk saved her after the supposed assassination attempt. No, Mr. Justice. It was 15 years ago that Dirk abducted my mother. Huh? That's weird. Are you sure about that? I remember it clearly. I was around 10 years old at the time. Naita, please add that last statement to your testimony. I was reunited with my mother, Queen Amara, 15 years ago when Dirk abducted her. 15 years ago. And he was 10 at the time. 15 years ago. So this is theoretically about 23 years ago. Well, no. Oh, yeah. This is theoretically about 23 years ago. Right. I mean, I saved it, right? Objection! You're saying that Dirk made off with Queen Amara 15 years ago. But that's strange, because I heard something very different from Dirk. He said they ran off together 23 years ago. That is impossible. I know for a fact it was 15 years ago. Well, I have evidence that contradicts your statement. How do you explain this photo? Dirk said it was taken 23 years ago. He said that? He did. But if we take what you just said as fact, then there's something in this photo that doesn't make any sense. The baby? Because he's not 10 years old there. He's clearly young, so he could be 2 years old.
This isn't making any sense to me, so I suppose I should ask. What does not make any sense if the photo is only 15 years old?
Naita, this discrepancy may not directly be related to this case, but I don't think we can simply overlook it either. Dirk said the baby in the photo was you, but that doesn't make any sense if the photo is only 15 years old. After all, you said you were around 10 then, right? Grr. He's definitely sweating bullets over there over something. Apollo, if this baby isn't Naita... Wait, you don't think... Did Queen Amara have another child while she was on the run? I've been thinking it was Rafa. Does that line up if it's 15 years ago? But Rafa's 14, right? So that doesn't make sense. It can't be Rafa, because she wouldn't have been born yet. What? And just what if that child were being held hostage? Naita, is that why you obey Queen Garan's every command? You presume too much. Ah, and that's why Queen Amara was trying to take the rap as well. To protect this other child. So that child is 15 years old now, or like 16, yeah, 15 years old. A child born 15 years ago. Huh, there would have to be someone who's around 14 or 15 years old now. Oh. This is just a guess. Right, so it could be 15 years ago and they could still be 14. So it is Rafa. But I believe I know someone who fits the bill. This also explains the strange behavior. Oh my gosh. This is a child who was born to Dirk and Queen Amara 15 years ago. All those strange statements she kept making. Now they all make sense.
Prosecutor Sadmati, may I ask you something?
Of course, Your Benevolence.
I've been meaning to ask you this since yesterday. Did you know about Queen Amara? And
About me?
about me?
From where did you hear such a thing?
From Mother. And only yesterday.
Rafa was carrying on about telling the truth to the people, so I told her what the truth really was, for it is up to a mother to discipline her child. I see.
I cannot accept this.
Is something the matter, Your Benevolence?
Queen Amara is lying. It makes no sense. Queen Amara would never have killed my father. Why? Why did this happen?
Wait, when she was saying my father, was she referring to Dirk? I mean, wow, yeah. Damn. She could, so that could have worked with Inga, because we were like, oh, her father's Inga, so that makes sense. But I think she might have been talking about Dirk. Wow. Wow, cool writing.
Why? Why did this happen? Oh, just as we were finally reunited. Oh, Queen Amara.
Now I see, Naita. Why you do what you're told. The other child born to Dirk and Queen Amara was... Mr. Justice, I believe I know what you're about to say, but I cannot allow you to name an innocent soul as a child of terrible sinners. I thought you might try to stop me. After all, simply revealing this information endangers who you've been trying to protect. Ugh. I think this should make it clear what I'm talking about. This is a chink in your armor, the reason why you fear for your sibling's reputation. What are we getting at here? The reason why you fear... Oh, because... Is it just because of the law? Is that all I'm saying? Am I just saying the law? You believe that to be the chink in my so-called armor? I fail to see what you mean by that.
I dare say it looks more like a chink in the defense's argument.
Ah! It would be bad news for Rafa if it became known that she was fathered by Dirk. But there's gotta be something that shows why. Right, let me take a look at the evidence. Naita. This is the chink in your armor. The reason why you fear your sibling's reputation. Okay. It would be bad news. As the son of the terrorist, Dirk Naito was expelled. She would be expelled from the royal family? And that is... a file full of information that Dirk collected on what happened 23 years ago. Of particular note right now is what's written here. The sins of the father are visited upon by his children. This deeply held idea is why you were expelled from the royal family. Which means it wouldn't bode well for your sibling either, if she were revealed to be Dirk's daughter. You became a prosecutor to bring down Queen Garan, but at some point, you came to serve the very regime you despised. And that was because the Queen found this chink in your armor. That's how she came to use your sister against you.
Naita, have you been keeping this secret all this time? Have you been trying to protect me?
You are an innocent party to all this. I live only to safeguard the law and serve the country and queen from which it flows. One such as you, who is destined to ascend to the throne, needs not fret over one such as I.
No, I cannot accept that. What you say is, it's malarkey. Don't you even care what happens to you?
Before country, queen, law, and everyone's future, my personal feelings are of no consequence. That is why I resign myself to my fate. I know I must accept the status quo without any thoughts of change. Spoken like a true prosecutor and patriot. I shall continue to rule Kurain until the day Rafa succeeds me. For that is what's best for our kingdom. I know, Your Eminence. Yours is no small sacrifice, but I promise you this, in exchange for your life, the child shall remain safe, and the kingdom shall prosper. That is all I can ask for with my meager existence. Naita, is this really the new you? Resigning yourself to the will of another, and killing any hope you held for the future. No. The Naita I knew would never let himself be turned into this. Now, Your Majesty, if you would hand down your verdict. Objection! You can't say you're simply accepting your fate, Naita. You can say that, but I know deep down, there's still hope in your heart. Oh, Holy Mother, preserve me. It's the kind of hope that perseveres through the most desperate of times. And it's what binds you, me, and Dirk together as a family. I know because this has demonstrated to me that you haven't lost all hope yet. When you interrogated Dirk, you confiscated all of his possessions as potential evidence. All except this. Did he take your attorney's badge too?
No. I thought it strange, but just when it looked like he was going to take it from me, he changed his mind.
So tell me, Naita, why didn't you take this badge? You couldn't bear to take it from him, could you? And I know why. It's because this badge means something special to us.
Hey, Dirk. Why do you still wear your badge? You're not a lawyer anymore, right?
This badge is my heart and soul, son. I'll never stop trying to realize my dream. Not until the very last breath.
A dream never yields, right?
Exactly. Naita, Apollo, I vow to restore Kurain's legal system to its rightful state one day. I want to pass on to you a world where you can live free from the fear of tyranny.
You may say you've given up, but that's not how it really is it? You never gave up, and you never will, because you still believe that all the wrongs will be righted someday, don't you? You are very perceptive, Mr. Justice. It may very well be as you say. Why did I not confiscate this badge? Even I did not know. Until now. Perhaps I was waiting for him to save me. Save you. Yes, save me. Like he did on that day.
Naita, Apollo! Hold on, I'm coming! What father wouldn't risk his life to save his own children? Naita, Apollo, don't you ever hesitate to call when you need me. Understand?
Someday, he would come and free our family from the chains of the past. Perhaps, deep down, that is what I believed. I believed in Dirk, our father. Naita, I know you, however, it was but a dream. And now that dream has died. Murdered along with Dirk. So now, as the eldest, the responsibility falls squarely on me. No matter the cost, I must protect her. Please, try to understand, Apollo. Understand why I shall bear all this sin. It is the only way. But... You have wasted more than enough of my time, lawyer. Do you not see the futility of your desperate floundering? The immutability of his duty. It is time to accept defeat. Now watch as the hammer of justice comes down upon your dear brother. Your Majesty, the verdict, if you will.
Yes, Your Eminence.
Objection!
Wait a second. What do I do?
Does the defense wish to raise an objection?
There's gotta be some way to save Naita. Apollo, it all goes back to that incident 23 years ago. It's branded him that son of a criminal. Branded him the son of a criminal. So if we could once and for all prove that Dirk didn't try to assassinate Amara. Right, Naita and Rafa's father would no longer be viewed as a criminal. But I thought there wasn't any evidence left, because it was all destroyed in the fire. And Dirk investigated the matter for years, but never managed to learn anything new. Really? Nothing at all? Could an exceptional lawyer like Dirk try that long and really uncover nothing at all? He had over 2 decades, Apollo. Huh? He's right. I doubt Dirk would have gone to his grave without discovering something new. He must have secretly planted something to topple Gardan with somewhere. Take another look at the evidence. You just might find what we need to break out of the situation in there. Got it.
If the defense is done stalling for time, I shall now render my verdict.
No, wait. About the assassination attempt 23 years ago. The defense has some new information it would like to share.
You do? Well, we had intended to deliberate that case in the course of this trial.
Dirk, did you leave something behind for me? Is there some connection I'm missing here?
Very well then. What is the source of your new information about the case 23 years ago?
I don't bloody know. I don't know. Like, his father could be very good information, but he's dead and we don't know his real name. But is that... I mean, I can try to present it.
A photograph?
Good. Yes. Do you recall the traveling musician who died in that fire 23 years ago?
How could anyone forget such a painful chapter in our history? The poor fellow was caught up in the blaze that was meant for Queen Amara. We never knew his identity, though, as his belongings were burnt to ash.
Well, about that, the truth is, he was my biological father.
Oh?
What? Why, of course, with his photo and her benevolence. Exactly. We might be able to prove Dirk's completely innocent. And that would free her from the infamy of having criminal blood in her veins. Because here in Kudain, we can witness the final memories of the dead. Oh, we don't need a true name for that, do we? What utter nonsense! Yeah, we don't need a name for that, do we? We just need the photo? There was no evidence left in the wake of that blaze. Yeah, so hang on. Right, with his photo and her benevolence. Yeah. And that's why what you think. But Dirk went to the ends of the earth to bring this little souvenir back to us. He did? Yep, and boy is it the best piece of evidence ever. He knew that with it, we'd finally be able to conclusively settle the matter here in court. And save his children. Your Majesty, the defense requests that we hold a divination seance for this new victim. What a waste of time. What a waste of time. The events of 23 years past have already been deliberated at length. But wasn't Dirk on trial for that incident as well today? So we wouldn't be doing our jobs if we failed to look into this new lead, would we? Ah! As the presiding judge, I will now share my thoughts on the matter. The attempted assassination of Queen Amara in a case we can ill afford to leave open, and I believe that the final memories of the victim will prove to be very important. Therefore, it is the opinion of this court that we should conduct another divination seance. Why, your benevolence. If you knew the full name of the victim seen in this photo, you'd be able to perform a divination. Oh, you do need the full name. Divination seance, right?
Of course. Leave it to me.
Thank you. My father's full name is... So it is whatever justice that we have. Jove Justice. Okay, yeah. So we did know it.
All right.
Now, your benevolence, please commence the divination seance when you are ready.
O Holy Mother, we hold this divination seance in your name. Let the eyes of everyone here be clear, and our ears be unstopped. O dance of devotion, guide the victim's soul to me, so that we may receive their final memories in the pool of souls.
This is probably the final time we're ever going to see this animation. So, let's enjoy it one last time. Even though we've seen it 1,000 times. It's a very long animation to show 1,000 times. But it is very cool. I want to see that bit where she has all her momentum going one way and then she goose next the other way. I like that. I want to see that bit. Oh. She does it flawlessly. Every time. Okay. Heat burning. Crying. Oh, is that Apollo? Oh. Whoa. He dropped the baby? What is that? Oh, that's a lighter? Oh. So, did someone stab him? Before he was burned up in the fire?
The spirit of the victim has granted us a window into his final moments. It would appear the divination seance was a success.
So those were my father's final moments. That baby we saw must have been you, Apollo.
I will now decipher the experience of the deceased. Are you ready, Hornhead?
Yes, please proceed.
Very well. Here are my interpretations of the facts as we gleaned from the seance vision.
Insight. Rave is insight.
Someone attempted to assassinate Queen Amara by setting her residence ablaze. Hornhead's father happened to stop by and was knocked out by the assassin. Dirk's fingerprints were discovered on the lighter found at the scene of the crime. That is how he was determined to be the assassin. Hornhead's father tried to save his son, sadly he perished in the attempt. That is everything the deceased experienced in his final moments.
My father's final memories. They're right here for everyone to see, but can any of them unlock the truth behind what happened 23 years ago? Okay. He was knocked out by the assassin. That's a lot of pain. Discovered on the lighter found at the scene of the crime. Saved his son, but sadly perished. Metallic sound. Man, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't remember if I've saved it or not, so I'm doing it again. Oh no, I hadn't for a while. Happened to stop by. Right. So there's Queen Amara. Is it just like, why wouldn't they just kill her? But I mean, that's... I guess if you want to make it look like an accident, this is the way to do it, right? I don't know. I don't know. Well, I've saved it. So maybe I just try a couple things. Objection! Your benevolence. This insight is inconsistent with the vision.
Oh? Please do tell, where exactly does this inconsistency lie, Hornhead?
Well, it's kind of hard to say, especially when you put me on the spot like this. The defense will only present opinions that won't collapse under pressure. Guess I'd better take a closer look at the insights in the vision before I try again. Okay.
There's a lot of heat and burning. Do we say like it says knocked out, but that's a lot of pain. No. Alright, go back to title. And let's try this again. Because that pain feels like a stabbing sort of pain. But I guess if you get knocked out, like, I guess it's the blood that makes it look like a stabby sort of pain, like the blood behind pain. But that's just like the way they show it. Dirk's fingerprints were discovered on the lighter found at the scene of the crime. Yeah, Dirk doesn't wear gloves. I thought maybe that might be something. Tried to save his son, but sadly perished in the attempt. Right. There's like a plate here. You see that? Hang on, I gotta go back to the start of this. Yeah, there's someone throwing the... I can't believe I didn't see that. So, and it looks like it's a gloved hand. So maybe I'm just saying like... Objection! Yeah, the fingerprints can't... Like, that can't have been Dirk's fingerprints because whoever it was wearing gloves. So, I mean, yeah. Dirk's fingerprints were discovered on the lighter that was found at this crime scene. However... the hand holding the lighter in the seance vision appears to be gloved. I didn't see it.
Ah, I believe you are right. What could this mean?
It calls into question whether the hand in the vision really was Dirk's. If only we could make out the details a little better.
Very well. I will attempt to focus a bit more on what the deceased saw. Perhaps that will help refine the seance vision.
Huh.
It does seem that there was a glove on that hand. Still, what significance could that have?
It means that Dirk's fingerprints got on the lighter at some other time. Somebody could have even put them there after the fire. All you have is pure speculation, while the fact remains that they are his fingerprints. Therefore, it stands to reason that Dirk was the one who used the lighter. It just means I have to prove that the figure in the vision is someone else, using the information in my father's final memories.
Either way, it seems I must revise my insights.
Insight revised. Man, she's come such a long way. Then we know not to whom it belongs. Okay, she's updated her insights. Time to go over them and see if there are any new inconsistencies to be found. Okay. Crying. Pain. Baby falls. What is that? On the arm. Okay. Right. It seemed like there was something on the arm there, right? Was that not something?
Okay. Look, the arm looks...
Objection!
Okay, it's got a very distinguishing thing on there. Wait, then this means that the real culprit is... I couldn't even tell. The figure in this vision is clearly not Dirk. Like, is it Amara? Because I can't tell what that what that was. The distinctive band around their wrist gave the true identity away.
Ah! That design. It can't be.
This will prove just whose hand was captured in the seance vision.
Oh, was it Inga's? Right. I believe that's what it was.
That photo. So you do believe the culprit to be?
And... Right, because they're the braces of justice or whatever they were called.
Justice Minister Inga had cuffs with the exact same pattern on them.
You're referring to the cuffs of justice, correct?
Yes, I hear they're a traditional part of Kuraini's Justice Minister's attire.
But he wasn't Justice Minister then. She was. Garan was. Because she was Justice Minister beforehand and Inga was just her husband. So Garan was the one who did it.
But what does this tell us?
It tells us that the figure in the vision is none other than Kurain's late Minister of Justice. Inga Kaku Kurain.
No, I don't think it is.
No. Not my father.
So he plotted the assassination of the former queen, as well as the current one.
Justice Minister Inga. So then Dirk's innocent of both charges? The Defiant Dragons, they've been right all along. Naita? What you've proposed is not possible, Apollo. For back then, Inga Kaku Kurain was not the Minister of Justice. What? The Justice Minister 23 years ago was... Queen Garan. You, Queen Garan. What? Oh, right. She served as the Minister of Justice before succeeding the throne. Oh yeah, Phoenix knew that and Apollo didn't, right? Right. That makes sense. Because only Phoenix was told about that stuff by Queen Garan. I guess she also prosecuted the assassination attempt 23 years ago as one. So then, the figure in this vision is actually... Your Eminence. It's you, isn't it?
This is madness. Why would Her Eminence do such a thing?
Because she would ascend to the throne. She wanted to usurp the throne from her sister Amara. That's why she tried to assassinate her.
I find this all very hard to swallow.
Your Eminence, are you the one responsible for tearing my family apart? And was it you who killed my father? Well, Your Eminence, I'm asking you a question!
Insolence!
Huh. Peasants. Always carrying on about things of no import. You do not deny it then. You concealed the truth and used me for your own designs. Oh, Naita, spare me your feeble-minded line of questioning. Even if Dirk were cleared of all charges, it shall still be I who decides Rafa's fate. You do wish for her to be queen someday, do you not? Remember, the child lives only by my good graces. Now kneel before me and fulfill your end to the bargain by offering me your head. Your Eminence, I done heeding your commands. Even as you used my sister against me, I still believed you. I believed that protecting your secret was in the best interest of this kingdom. But you have been deceiving me all the while. Naita! Naita! You dared defy me! Your Eminence, I can turn the other cheek no more. Therefore, I hereby retract my confession in the murder of Justice Minister Inga.
Retract, you say?
Dirk, the final piece of evidence you left behind has released Naita from his suffering, and now he's finally free. In all this time, not once did I reflect on my own conduct, for I had believed it was all for fate. Lost in my own sense of resignation, I was unable to wake from my despair. But you, Apollo, you have awakened me with your demonstration of our father's creed. Oh, a dragon never yields.
A dragon never yields.
Yes! I will carry on Dirk's legacy and fulfill his dream. Hear me, Garan. I will cast you down from your bloody throne. Long live the revolution. Ah, insolent fool! Now even you prattle on about revolution! Will you look at that? Well, Apollo, it seems we're finally making some headway down the road that Dirk carved out for us. Yeah. Now, if we could just prove Garan's guilt, we could continue on down that road toward the revolution Dirk dreamed of.
Your Eminence, you have been accused of the crime committed 23 years ago. Would you like to say anything in your defense?
Not so fast, your majesty, for the cuffs could have been stolen and used without my knowledge. So you see, they can hardly be considered proof of anything.
Why, I believe you're right.
Ah, but we know she's guilty. Well, lawyer, is there any other evidence you would have me refute? Unfortunately, this photo was the last piece of evidence Dirk left for me. As far as evidence goes, I've got nothing else regarding the case from in the past. However, now that Prosecutor Saad Mahdi's retracted his confession, we'll have to redeliberate the current case from scratch. Yes, the defense speaks the truth. Even though it is clear who the guilty party is. Queen Garan, the defense accuses you of the murder of Justice Minister Inga Kaku Kurain.
But do you have any evidence, defense?
Evidence that will prove Garan was the killer? There is still one more avenue for us to explore, Mr. Justice. There is Minister Inga's final memories. In them, the minister's killer posed as Dirk. Therefore, one must ask, how did the killer dispose of their disguise? Hey, you're right. A lot of blood would have splattered onto the killer. So the blood-soaked clothes would have to have been dealt with somehow. If they're still around somewhere, then... Huh. I was wondering what absurd idea you would concoct next. Clothing can be disposed of most anywhere. I doubt you could find them now. Then you don't know us very well. Your benevolence.
Yes?
On the day of your father's murder, you had been watching the courtyard from 2 p.m. Now, during that time, you saw Queen Garan, did you not?
Yes, I did. I saw my mother entering the palace from the courtyard, but I was told not to mention it because it had nothing to do with my father's murder.
Rafa! You would not dare! When the queen headed into the palace, did she have Dirk's clothes in her possession?
No. No, she did not.
So, maybe she disposed of them somewhere in the courtyard. The police did a thorough sweep of the area following the crime, but they did not find anything resembling Dirk's clothes. But you knew that already, didn't you, prosecutor? Yes, I admit no clothing was found. So you admit that you were merely speculating, chasing phantoms and delusions of evidence that never existed? This makes no sense. Clothing doesn't just disappear like that. If Gardon wasn't carrying any clothes, she must have gotten rid of them somehow. Somewhere where she thought they'd never be found. I'm just saving it real quick. Where'd they never be found, huh? I believe Dirk's clothes were hidden here. Where they'd never be found. Inga's private quarters? Was there something in Inga's private quarters? I feel like I'm dumb. I mean, like, it could be in the water. Impossible. A thorough search has already been made of the entire area. But you could at least listen. No. Ah! If we ever hope to locate Dirk's clothes, Mr. Justice, it would have to be someplace that was beyond her benevolence's field of vision. Otherwise, she would have noticed a bundle of bloody clothes. Right, so it has to be in the tomb somewhere. The tomb? You believe the clothes were hidden there? Yes, it's the only place it can be. Very well. Where is the tomb you believe the clothes were hidden? Where in the tomb do you believe the clothes were hidden in? I mean... Is it just on Dirk's body? Of course. That makes perfect sense. The clothes weren't simply hidden. They were returned to where they belonged. Ah! And by that you mean... The killer would have had to get Dirk's clothes from somewhere. Luckily, they were right there. Yes, of course. At the time of the minister's murder, Dirk's body was already in the sarcophagus, so the killer could have simply borrowed his clothes. Right. Before the minister entered the tomb, the killer put on Dirk's clothes and then hid behind the curtain above the sarcophagus. And after the minister was killed, Dirk's clothes were returned to his body. So what? This is all still speculation. We know not whether those clothes were actually used in the murder. Therefore, you cannot prove that they are somehow connected to this case. That's where you're wrong. But I believe you already knew that. These clothes were definitely used during the minister's murder because of this. Let's see. Because of what? I'm just seeing if we have like... Because we have this picture of Dirk. There's all the blood. His hand. Because of what? Like, is it something to do with the butterfly? Can it be?
I don't know if it can be. Because the butterfly's fine. Doesn't prove anything. I guess it's off. It's off his neck. But I mean, he probably wasn't wearing it around his neck. He probably had it in his pocket. Oh, is it that... Hang on. Is it that, like, the blood? Do you see how the blood sort of keeps going under there, but it doesn't continue here? It just, like, stops there, and then there's a splatter here? Is that what it is? The bloodstains on Dirk's chest are no doubt the result of being shot by the minister. However, that doesn't explain everything. Right, yeah. There's also blood splatter extending from his left elbow to his abdominal area. I believe this blood splatter came from... Inga. If the killer wore these clothes during the murder, then the blood splatter must have come from Minister Inga. I had thought it was all Dirk, but that makes sense. Only one way to be sure, though. Let's get the stains analyzed right away. Indeed. This may be the conclusive evidence we need to prove the Queen's guilt. You cannot prove it was I who hid those clothes. They could very well have been hidden by a third party. But could they really? I'd say the possibility of someone other than Gadon hiding the clothes. Doesn't exist. No, it's just not possible. Your Eminence, I recall you saying the following. The key to Amara's sarcophagus is under the protection of the royal family. My husband and I are the only ones who could open it. Therefore, it would be impossible for some knave to open it. Ah! That was your own testimony, word for word. Why, you insolent! Admit it. Only you could have hidden Dirk's clothes after they were used in the murder. And that means you were the one who killed Justice Minister Inga. Insignificant worm! You dare accuse me, the ruler of Kurain? Do not think for one moment that such impudence will be tolerated. I'm afraid such arguments are invalid here in this sacred hall, Your Eminence, because even monarchs aren't above the law. It's the end of the line for you, Queen Gadon. Time to come down from that lofty throne and face justice! No! Me? Face justice? Surely you jest. You are in no position to force my hand, lawyer. Oh? Surely you haven't forgotten about the Defense Culpability Act. Those who would support criminals will be deemed just as guilty. In short, should I be convicted of murdering my husband, your dear brother, who delivered false testimony in my defense, shall also be found guilty. What? That can't be. Can it? By delivering false testimony in the course of protecting a guilty party, he would certainly be judged by this court as having supported a criminal, and the Defense Culpability Act would most definitely come into play. But that law is so broad, anyone could be convicted under it. When it comes to the DC Act, even I am conflicted, and yet, as it currently stands, it is the law of the land. And as you said earlier, no one is above the law. Of all the absurd things I've seen, this law really takes the cake. Now what? What can we even do at this point? You need not look so forlorn. Dirk has been cleared of all charges, so let us leave all thoughts of the real killer and revolution in the past where it belonged. She wants us to just let her off scot-free.
And yet, I don't see any other choice. We cannot yield to her here, Apollo. If it would move the revolution forward, I will gladly face the DC Act. Now do it. Accuse Queen Garan of the crime she has committed. But... What do you speak of is not revolution. Our kingdom will not function without its sovereign. And Rafa cannot ascend to the throne, for she is as yet incapable of channeling spirits. Thus, to accuse me is to wish destruction upon our fair kingdom, you terrorist. Terrorist? If you would still insist on accusing me, then as ruling sovereign of Kurain, I proclaim the following. All who imperil the crown, no matter the reason, shall be subject to immediate execution upon the Queen's orders. What? Immediate execution? Do you still not comprehend? Then let me be clear, for the sake of this kingdom's future, and in accordance with the laws of Kurain. I command that you be put to death at once. Oh my gosh. What the? No. Isn't this going a bit too far? Why is the guard on Royal Guard? They were on a standby in case of an attack by foolishly optimistic terrorists. Now, if you would continue to oppose me, the very embodiment of the law, then under my regal authority you shall all be put to death. Oh wow, that's actually voice. Oh come on, this is insane even for you. You can't possibly get away with something like this. This is a court of law. You can't just order our execution without due process. Now look, Apollo, truth and due process are certainly important, but so is your life, so think before you speak again. But... Please, Apollo, do not make this any worse than it already is. I cannot lose you to the Twilight Realm too. I'm gonna save it again, real quick. What am I supposed to do? How do I win against an opponent that can rewrite the law as she sees fit? How can I ever bring her to justice? Is this really how it all ends? It is your life or your accusation, lawyer. You cannot hope for both. It is time to cease this insanity. What do I do? Should I accuse Queen Garan? Let's do it. For the cause. A dragon never yields. I know what I have to do. Mr. Wright, you know that saying you're constantly reminding me of an Athena of? That saying you're constantly reminding me of Athena of? The worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. You never fail to surprise me, Apollo. And Naita, you know that creed we've known ever since we were kids? A dragon never yields. A dragon never yields. I love that the game got me to think of it on my own. And that's how I knew to do the accuse. Apollo. They are not merely words. They are what's carried us this far. So now, it's time to honor these words in the memories of the ones who gave them to us. I couldn't agree with you more, Apollo. Those words are more important to me than you know. And if there's any time to remember them, it's now. It would seem, Apollo, that no one but two auspicious creatures dwell deep within you. A fierce dragon and a virtuous phoenix that shall scatter the clouds hiding the heavens. I shall join you in your death-defying bluff. I think I finally understand what those words really mean, and the resolve they embody. Are you smiling? Even in the face of certain doom? Is there no end to your defiance? Unfortunately for you, no. I won't let fear or even the law force me to abandon the pursuit of truth. Because there is another saying in my country, the truth will set you free. Indeed, that is precisely what Dirk sought to do through his trial. He wished for us to break free from a certain despicable spider's immobilizing silk threads. We won't be intimidated by unjust laws or given to fear. Abandoning the truth like that is just not a part of my playbook. There is only one path before us, revolution. The time to make Dirk's dream a reality is upon us. Your Eminence, if you were the law here in Kurain, then your very existence is wrong. Does your desperate bleating know no end? I know it's a bit late to ask, but what's the plan? Well, if Gardan's going to execute us on the spot under the Defense Culpability Act, and the law itself derives its power from the authority of the Crown, then there's only one thing to do. We dethrone her. Right here, right now. Alright, but how? It's not like we have a lot of time to come up with a way to do it either. I doubt she'll allow you to perform another cross-examination while we think. Don't worry, I'll come up with something. We'll be fine! We can't give up. Not now. We have to keep fighting to the end. We can't allow these broken trials to go on. It's time to make things right again. Brain? Yes! If I accuse Gardan, Naito will be subject to the Defense Culpability Act, which means he will be put to death in accordance with the law. So the only way out of this is to dethrone Gardan right now. Could this be the key to dethroning Gardan? The Founder's Orb. Dirk was convinced that the orb is the key to the revolution and Kurain's future. In light of Gardan's obsession with the orb, it makes a large amount of sense. She probably doesn't want anyone using it to gain spiritual powers and rights to the throne. Inga definitely tried to do that, but that's where it starts to fall apart. Inga couldn't have claimed channeled the Founder even after abducting Miss Faye, because he didn't know the Founder's name. Inga didn't know the Founder's name. The name of the Founder is only known to those who become Queen. That means the only people who currently know her name are Gardan and Amara. So even if someone... Oh, Amara knows it! So even if someone else had the orb, they wouldn't be able to channel the Founder. So that begs the question, why is Gardan so fixated on the orb? Okay, let's not overthink this. Gardan's obsessed with the orb because... she can't channel spirits? Oh my gosh! Oh, that is amazing. Could it be? It's hard to believe, but... if she wants spiritual power, does that mean Gardan can't channel spirits? That would explain why she had Amara perform the rite of channeling. Is that why she let Amara live? To stand in for her when the time came to channel spirits? So if Gardan can't channel spirits, then she'll have no claim to the throne. Gardan has no claim to the throne. Gardan's Defense Culpability Act was established under the Crown's authority. But if she has no claim to the throne, then the DC Act would be null and void. No, not just the DC Act. All of the insane laws she's enacted would be swept away in one fell swoop. You claim the authority of the Crown? You, of all people? That's a good one. Have you truly lost it, lawyer?
Indeed. I would have the defense explain himself at once.
It's easy, your majesty. Why is Queen Gardan so obsessed with the Founder's Orb? Why did she let Queen Amara live? And why was her having her mercifulness perform the rite of channeling in her place? The Queen answer to these three questions point to a single conclusion. A fact that'll shake this kingdom to its very core. I still do not follow, Apollo. Your Eminence, I have just one question for you. And please be honest, you can't actually channel spirits, can you? What? You believe the Queen is not capable of communing with the dead?
The defense will explain himself at once.
In Kudain, the ability to channel spirits is an absolute requirement for a would-be queen. But, Your Eminence, if you were incapable of doing that, then you'd have no claim to the throne. Not only that, but every law you've passed would be rendered null and void. And you, the Garan Royal Guard? You seem to be rather enamored with the Queen's supposed spiritual power. But what if she had none? What if she were just an ordinary person? A pretender to the throne?
That's crazy talk. Impossible. Everyone knows only spirit mediums can become queen.
Such blasphemy! On what grounds do you make such a defamatory claim? Queen Garan, if you think I'm just out to defame you, then prove it. Prove it using this piece of evidence you want so badly. You can channel the founder, the Holy Mother. All the conditions for summoning the founder should be in place. With the orb, we know what the founder looks like. And as queen, you should know the founder's name. Now, if you would, Your Eminence, please show us the great spiritual power you bear as Grand Priestess of Kudain.
Oh, to witness Her Eminence's great power with my own eyes? The Holy Mother will appear before us? Oh, great miracle of miracles! Praise be, Your Eminence! May your mighty spiritual power show us the way! Dihara, Garan!
Enough! Enough, I say, you mindless cretins!
Your Eminence? Can it be that you cannot?
No, I want a lawyer. Summon one at once. Aren't you forgetting something? There aren't any lawyers left in Kudain. You can thank your Defense Culpability Act for that. Ugh.
Your Eminence, please give us a glimpse of your magnificent spiritual power. Summon Her Holiness so she may guide us.
I've heard enough from you. Out of my sight, all of you. If you're truly capable of channeling spirits, then get on with it, Your Eminence. Ah, you sneaky, underhanded wretch of a lawyer. That reminds me. You said something to this effect earlier. It is time to cease this insanity. Don't you feel stupid for saying that now? Indeed, of all the things she has said, I can think of nothing more ludicrous. Apollo, teach this deceitful, putrid queen a lesson she won't soon forget. Gladly, because it really is time to cease this insanity. Garan! Your reign of terror ends here! Very well. Demonstrating my facilities as a spirit medium is simple enough. Behold, the magnificent power to commune with the dead.
Oh, Your Eminence!
O great spiritual of the founder who dwells in the Twilight Realm, heed the secret covenant of the orb, and appear here before us.
Oh, here it comes. What's wrong? Are you not feeling well?
Ah! Ah! O spirit of the founder, grace us with your sacred presence. The time is now. I beseech you, appear before us. Heed my call. Founder, please. Ah! No, wait! I was just warming up! The rite actually starts from now! Look! Soroka! Holy Mother.
Prosecutor Sadmadi, how is Her Eminence?
It seems she now believes that she herself is the Holy Mother.
Ah, I see. But her attempt at spirit channeling failed, did it not?
Sadly, she seems unable to accept the facts. I fear it will be quite a challenge to question her later.
And what, if I may ask, was her motive? I understand that she killed Minister Inger in order to prevent his coup d'etat. But what of her attempt to assassinate Queen Amara 23 years ago?
To become queen herself, maybe she just craved power and attention. She likely developed a psychological complex from her inability to channel spirits. That is why she kept Queen Amara alive to perform the rite of channeling for her. In that way, it would seem as if she had great spiritual power. In short, she built a cult of personality upon fear and lies. Then again, do not all tyrants.
So then, she never really intended to kill Amara, huh?
What I don't understand is why Queen Amara even listened to Gardan in the first place, especially 14 years ago, before Rafe was being held hostage. Why would she keep letting the people of Kurain think she was dead, while she kept quietly performing the rite of channeling for Gardan? My mother is a gentle soul by nature, and loves her sister dearly, so when Gardan told her to hide because Dirk was out to kill her, she believed it. What's more, she did not wish to tarnish the name of her beloved sister. That is why she acquiesced so obediently to Gardan's request to keep channeling for her, until she fled with Dirk and was told the truth, that is. So that's what happened. And since Rafe was being held captive, I imagine Amara had no choice but to help cover up the truth behind Ingrid's murder. Yeah, living secretly as Rafe's servant, Nena. No doubt only to deepen her love for her daughter. She'd do anything to keep her safe. All the more reason to hide the painful truth from her.
Well, that was a case for the ages. Prosecutor Sadmadi has been cleared of all suspicion in the murder of Minister Inger, as has Dirk Sadmadi in the assassination attempt on Queen Amara. Now then, I think it is high time I handed down my verdict on Dirk and Naita Sadmadi.
Wow! Is that the Holy Mother, like, blessing the trial? Oh my gosh. This will bring an end to one of the best Ace Attorney cases I think I've ever played. Wow. Dirk, I hope you're watching. I proved your innocence. Now you're just smiling again. And that revolution you've always dreamed of is finally happening.
With this, may I finally say, this court is adjourned.
What an incredible case. Way to go, Apollo! I was on the edge of my seat when those guards stormed the courtroom. That was a shocker, alright. Can't imagine anything like that happening back home. I know, right? I was ready to go on down there and teach him a lesson myself. Really? I was barely able to hold her back. Hold me back? You were about to go ballistic after a while there, Athena. Have they met each other before? They've never met each other, surely. Yeah, well, I was thinking about helping you smack a few of them down, to be honest. Remind me to never say or do anything to deserve a Myra-Athena double suplex. They'd be good friends, Myra and Athena. You did a fine job out there today, Apollo. Thanks for the great advice, Mr. Wright. Nah, it was all you. That perseverance and never say die attitude you showed was impressive. I actually learned a thing or two myself. What? From me? That's a laugh. There were any number of times where I wouldn't have blamed you for giving up. But you stuck it out to the end and came away triumphant. By sheer force of will. An inner strength forged in countless trials. You overcame the most desperate and hopeless situation I've ever seen. I don't know about all that. I mean it. You've really come a long way, Apollo. I have nothing but respect for your abilities as an attorney. Really? Aren't you exaggerating just a little bit, Mr. Wright? You did it, Apollo. You finally won a seal of approval. But what about me, Nick? My channeling's come a long way too. After all, I was deemed worthy enough to be used in 2 major crimes already. Yeah, and 2 major chances for me to become someone for you to channel next. Honestly, I couldn't have done this without the support of each and every person here. Mr. Wright, Athena, Naita, and of course, Dirk.
That was pretty cool, Polly.
Wow. Trucy? Trucy, what are you doing here?
It's magic.
I'm afraid she employed the old let's stow away in Mr. Edgeworth's suitcase trick. What? Though it certainly explained why my suitcase was so heavy. Tell me you at least noticed it was heavier than usual. Trucy, do you even have a passport?
My magic panties are in extra-dimensional space. It's like a mini-universe in there. I could produce a passport at the drop of a hat.
Right. Maybe some things in this world are better left a mystery.
Horn head, barbed head. I am forever in your debt for what you've accomplished in this hall of justice. Without your presence, I may have never changed as I have this day. It's pathetic, I know.
That's where you're wrong, your benevolence. It was you who changed yourself. Only you could choose to defy Garon, and that decision was yours and yours alone. That's right. All we did was present you with an opportunity, and you made use of it with gusto. This victory is yours, your benevolence. You should be proud of yourself.
I see. So, I am worthy of my title after all. I shall work to heal our kingdom so that it may know peace and prosperity once more.
She sure bounced back quick. So, your benevolence, I take it you learned the truth of your origins? That you're the daughter of Dirk and Queen Amara?
Yes, my mother, Her Eminence told me. She said it was a part of my disciplining.
If you can call it that. Sounds more like blackmail. Keep quiet or I'll tell everyone you're the daughter of a criminal.
My mother was so insufferable. Or should I say, my former mother.
Sounds like there was no love lost there.
But you cleared Dirk's name. My true father will no longer be known as a criminal. Therefore, I have nothing more to fear.
So what's next for the kingdom of Kurain? You lost your queen, so... Her benevolence, Queen Rafa, will ascend to the throne. Right. Naita, but she can't channel spirits yet, right? Indeed, which is why I will act as regent on her behalf, until the day she comes into her own.
Yes, your help will be greatly appreciated, Prosecutor
That's so cute. But... Is she gonna say what I think she's gonna say? Nissan. Oh, Nissan.
What are you looking at, you horn-headed nincompoop? In any event, I will be assisted by Naita and Queen Amara for the time being.
Queen Amara?
Our country offers counsel to the rulers of the neighboring kingdoms through channeling. It is a duty I intend to fulfill myself one day, but for now I'll have Queen Amara assist me in that capacity.
So then, she's gonna be alright?
Yes, it seems the bullet went straight through her without doing any serious damage.
That's a relief.
You did it, AJ! Thanks to you, both Dirk and Naita beat the charges against him. And you got the revolution rolling to boot.
The revolution? Dirk, I guess you were right to believe in me after all.
Yes, sir. There's gonna be some major changes around here, The legal system's gonna return to its rightful state, like how Dirk always wanted. And the name of Apollo Justice will go down in Kuraini's history.
Yeah, right. Oh, Naita, before I forget, there was something I wanted to give you before I head back home. You wish to give me something? Yes, it's Dirk's birth son. I think you should have this. I just don't want to screw this up, because this is like a nice moment. I mean, I'm thinking this, right? This is Dirk's. I have to get back to the States, and I know you're a prosecutor and all, but as a man that's gonna change Kudain, it's only right that you have it. To change Kudain. Yeah, in Dirk's place. Apollo, I am afraid I must refuse your gift. What? Why? There is something I would like to show you. Huh? What's this all of a sudden? Mr. Wright, won't you and your friends please join us? Oh, sure. Manhattan, former Salmadi law office. So why do you bring us here, Naita? Apollo, I want you to stay here in Kurain. What? But why? We have lost our queen, and our kingdom stands at a crossroads. Most of all, we will need to rebuild our entire legal system. Naturally, that includes the reintroduction of lawyers to the court. Wait, you're not asking me to? Yes, I want you to take over this law office, with you as a lawyer, and me as a prosecutor. We shall rebuild Kurain's legal system from the ground up. You want me to help you rebuild the legal system? That's a lot to take in. Apollo, I cannot do this without you. As a lawyer, you are Dirk's spiritual heir, and having studied in America, your legal knowledge will be indispensable. This is way out of my league. The revolution is still in its infancy, but it was Dirk's dream to restore the legal system to its rightful state. Will you not help me realize that dream?
Come on, AJ. You know it's what Dirk would have wanted. Let's do it together.
You must be taken aback by my sudden request, but please give it some thought. Of course. I'm honored that you asked. Still, I have my job back at the Right Anything Agency to consider too. Consider yourself fired. Don't you worry about that, Apollo. Besides, this is something only you can do. Something only I can do. I mean, to be completely honest, our office would be a bit short on firepower without you around, but hey. Mr. Wright. Actually, I'm sorry, but I can't get on board with this. Athena? I mean, there's still so much I want to learn from you, Apollo.
That's right. It won't be the same without you. And everyone back home would really miss you too. There's no way I can agree to this.
Still, if you really wanted to stay.
Yeah, Athena's right. It won't be easy, but...
Athena, Juicy. Apollo, no one but you can make this decision. Know that I will not question whatever choice you make. Our flight leaves tomorrow morning, Apollo. Think you can make up your mind by then? I'll try. Talk about a difficult decision. Should I go back to the US and continue working at the Right Anything Agency? Or should I stay in Kurain and help Naita rebuild the legal system? You have to stay. What's the right thing for me to do? May 20. It's only the next day. Early morning. The bus to the airport will be here any minute.
I wonder where Apollo is. Do you think he decided to stay here in Kurain?
I bet he was up all night thinking. This is a life-changing decision after all. But whatever he decides, I'll have to accept it.
I guess this means no more courtroom battles alongside him.
Hey, guys!
I know that booming voice anywhere.
Aww. I made it. I like seeing him front on.
Apollo, you're here. Does this mean you're coming home with us?
Well, about that. Mr. Wright. Yes? I've made up my mind. Here it is. The moment of truth. I still have so many things to learn from you. But I've decided to stay in Kurain.
You're staying? But...
I feel like I have to pick up where Dirk left off. I can't let his sacrifice go to waste. I see. Plus, I want to teach others everything you've taught me about being a lawyer, Mr. Wright. Apollo, Dirk's roadmap for the future, and your teachings. I believe that these two things will save the people of this kingdom from further unrest. I want to do this. No, I have to do this. Apollo, I've never felt prouder. Proud to have such an amazing attorney working under me. But someday, I'll return to the US. Once the new legal system here is firmly in place, I'll be back. Scout's honor.
Will we really see you again, Apollo?
You bet. Not that I have any idea how long it'll be, but I promise you this, everyone. I'll keep on learning and growing, and I'll come back to the US an even better lawyer. So don't you forget about me. Of course we won't, Apollo. There'll always be a spot waiting for you back at the office. In the meantime, we'll be rooting for you, so knock 'em dead. You got it, Mr. Wright!
I'm gonna miss you, Polly. But if this is it, then I'm gonna support your choice all the way!
Thanks, Juicy. Good luck with your magic act. I know you do Troop Grammarier proud. I can't remember how that was pronounced. I'll be cheering for you too, Apollo. But don't think you're the only one with the room to grow. The next time we meet, you probably won't even recognize me. In other words, game on. You bet, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna miss you too, Apollo, but I can't wait to see where your new adventure will take you. Well, there's our bus. I guess this is it, Apollo. I'll never forget everything you've done for me, Mr. Wright. I don't know how I'll ever repay you. Here's to seeing you back in the US again someday. Until then, you know where to find me. The legacy of those who came before us. Is handed down from parent to child. And from mentor to disciple, we must never stall or stagnate, but continue to grow and change. All that we've been taught, the beliefs and convictions that have been passed down to us, we must continue to nurture them, so we in turn can pass them on to the next generation.
Are you really sure you're okay with him staying, boss?
Uh-huh. I always figured he'd leave the nest someday.
Oh, Juicy's sleeping on Edgeworth's shoulder.
Oh, I think they're almost here.
Just a little. Got it. Why don't we go and check it out, AJ?
Aww. Aww.
She's smiling so big. Aww. There's Naita's butterfly. And it's like the Holy Mother butterfly, right? Justice Law Officers, nice. It's amazing.
Go on, Mr. Hat. Introduce yourself. I'm the amazing Mr. Hat. Nice to meet you. I wanted to take this opportunity to announce my solo debut. It seems Mr. Hat doesn't want Apollo to leave him in the dust. We're fierce rivals, you know. I can't let him hog the spotlight. Huh. It's just not the same without Polly, is it? Yeah, I kind of miss him too. I know. We should go visit him in Kurain. After seeing Mr. Justice in action, I got to thinking, what can I do for Kurain? Then it came to me, tourism! That's what! I'll develop Kurain's tourism industry and bring in more visitors. I'll roll out a night tour centered on the Founder's Orb. Oh, and make a museum dedicated to the Defiant Dragons. Boy, the ideas just keep on coming.
You can't slow this down, and so while I'm figuring out the voices, it keeps going. I want to congratulate you on becoming a forensic investigator, Detective Sky. Thank you. But Prosecutor Sadmati says he has need of me, so starting tomorrow I'll be working in Kurain for a while. Looking at it this way, it's sure to be an educational experience. True, plus I can't let that kid show me up either. I'll see what I can do for Kurain's revolution. Well, challenges have a way of helping people grow. I look forward to our next investigation upon your return. I don't have these voices. Damn that forehead fast. Ever since you revealed that secret behind our teleportation trick, show requests have totally dried up. We'll be out on the street if we don't find some work soon. Maybe we should take our truce up on her offer. She said then make a debut as magicians in the Right Anything Agency. Shut up, I'm gonna show her up someday, and not up on my own terms. Nothing fires you up like a bitter rivalry. I didn't have voices for them because I didn't record myself playing that case. So I might actually have to improvise some voices here from the first and second case. Kurain is just like this child right now, full of life and limitless potential. I have faith that Dirk and my darling Tarast will watch over them both.
Have no fear. We'll see Dirk's legacy through to the end. And just for Junior there, here's the secret to being a man among them. Behold the dance pose!
Oh, it sounds like Fater is saying no thanks.
Come on, little guy, don't be shy.
Fater. Fighter? Fighter in me? A fighter in me? He's a fighter? Is that what it is? I don't know. I've been pulling double duty ever since Apollo left, but that's okay. I'm gonna make Simon recognize me for the awesome lawyer that I am. She's quaking in her boots. Shh, legit, I can do it, and I will. Mr. Wright will be calling me in his right hand before you know it. Calling me his right hand woman before you know it. Let's do this. Good job, Athena.
Bucky, how dare you defy my order in such a sorry state?
Don't be mad, Simon. That was a huge party at my shop yesterday, but it still tastes fine. He can try some.
You great big pillock. I just lost my appetite because of you. It's hard to find good help these days. Wouldn't you say, old chum?
And that trial the other day really inspired me. I even created a Rakugo routine based on Shisho's case.
It's a mystery story that'll keep flipping the audience singing on its head. It's called The Scary Udon Noodle.
You're only giving away too much in the... I've read that wrong. Keeping the tornado school going is our way of paying penance and repaying our debt to Shisho.
And that includes Rakugo training for that kid Owen.
We're definitely going to see Sarge in here, I just realized.
With my newfound mobility, even ancient ruins and their fancy smancy Tomb Raider traps are no match for me! Fire!
The university where my father worked is letting me help with the dig. One day I'll discover an unknown ancient civilization dedicated to him.
I'll also be going on a dig in Kudain soon. That private justice had better not be slacking off.
I'm gonna be super busy now that I'm the head of the Fae clan. Don't worry, Mystic Maya. I'll do whatever I can to help. Thanks, Pearly. Our first order of business is to revolutionize Kudain Village. Oh, I have an idea. How about opening a store where we can buy new outfits like the city girls wear? Oh, look who's grown up now. But I think there are a few more pressing matters to take care of first. Yeah, you're right. I guess it'll be a while before I get my revolutionary makeover. Mother, now that you have stopped being Nana, I want a new Nana. I wonder if there would be anyone willing to serve you in that capacity. You are quite a handful after all. I am. With a simple wave of your hand, you would have your attire changed, meals prepared, and even your teeth brushed. To think I put such undue burden upon you, you a Grand Priestess of Kudain. Fear not, Reina. You will have plenty of time in which to make amends. Oh, perhaps you could start with one of your famous shoulder rubs.
Oh, she finally gets to give her shoulder rub. That's nice.
Her benevolence has taken to calling me Braidhead. Even worse, she trembles and her face turns red when she speaks to me. What have I done to deserve such animosity? While it is true I'm merciless within the Hall of Justice, to be given such a dismissive name is entirely uncalled for. Oh, what am I to do? Perhaps I shall consult Apollo about this.
She's embarrassed because you're her brother and she loves you. So cute. Is that it? How's he doing, Mr. Wright? Great. He's a respectable lawyer in his own right. He even has his own practice called Justice Law Offices. Thank you. This wouldn't have been possible without you. Oh, before I forget. I made a copy of this photo for you. A photo? Oh. Jove. It is so good to see him again. Don't you think it's about time we told them the truth? After all, they've both grown into fine young people now. Yes, you're right. Perhaps it's about time they knew. What? What does that mean? Knew what? I forgot about this character. Whoa, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Whew. There's case number 2. With Trucy, with Apollo. The first showing of Naita. Those twins. The cool, you know, Johnny Depp looking dude. Albie! Followed by meeting Dats. Talking to Dats. We met him when he had the beard first, and then Maya channeling. Eventually channeling the High Priest.
trust in me admitting everything, Believe crying whilst sending him away. Athena having her own personal case. Short and easy case where she had to find out Owen, who is a fourth personality and a three personality person, and then accusing this woman, I forgot what her name was, Phoenix, being against Apollo in the first part of the trial, and he was only doing that because Maya was being held hostage, having to convict this dude who is a lying scumbag. Then going to Kudain, seeing Rafa facing her father's death, doing the divination seance, proving that Dirk also died in that time, and that Queen Amara was still alive, and she had been doing all the channeling for Gardan the entire time. Naita standing up for what he believes in, standing up for his father Dirk. Apollo accusing Gardan, dethroning her live on stage, caught in 4K. Gardan trying to channel, failing. Justice starting up his own law offices in Kudain to rebuild Kudain's law system. And that's the story. Wow. Dear Mr. Wright, I can't believe it's already been a few months since I decided. Dear Mr. Wright, I can't believe it's already been a few months since I decided to stay. I'm sorry I haven't been good about keeping in touch, but things have been really hectic. Rebuilding a legal system I'm not yet familiar with has been a real challenge. But I will say, it's given me plenty of work to keep me busy.
Have you not given the autopsy report even a cursory glance, Mr. Justice?
It's just I have 15 clients on my plate right now, though I probably shouldn't have accepted all 15 at the same time. Oh, please. Are you going to help me rebuild Kudain's legal system or not? If you are, we need to move through this case backlog faster. Yeah, I know, but... Besides... Those 15 are only the beginning. Aw, the Defiant Dragons thing. There are 10 more awaiting your service.
I too have friends and acquaintances seeking legal representation, and being that you were the only lawyer in the country, I told them to contact you. I estimate it will only add about 16 clients to your caseload.
Now just wait 1 minute.
I have been handing out advertisements for your new office. They read... From legal advice to investigation, extramarital affairs, even yak milking. For a limited time only, these services and more are free down at Justice Law Offices. I have already received requests from 380 new clients.
I'm gonna have to say something, aren't I? Heh. I trust you did your Cords of Seal exercise this morning. Well, go on. There is no need to hold back.
Now that you mention it, we have yet to hear you shout today.
Yes, I have grown quite drowsy from these tedious proceedings. I could use a loud something to wake me up. Do not disappoint me, Hornhead.
Objection. There's really only one thing to say at a time like this. It's a word I've said countless times in my career, but one I'll never tire of.
Objection!
Wow! That's a beautiful piece of art. That's so cool. And that's it! That's the game. Wow, incredible game. I'm so glad that final case is like top 3 cases Ace Attorney of all time, probably. Like, I'd have to go back and
recheck all the cases. It could be recency bias, of course. But I mean, thinking about it, like the best cases in Ace Attorney, it's definitely up there. I think the one where you're defending the one with Shelly the Killer, that's one of the top ones. Turnabout Goodbyes maybe is also there. Maybe those are the top 3. Anyway, thanks for watching. My voice is hurting. I need to stop. Goodbye.